Hi everyone, this is Viraj. Welcome back in Tech Ferment. So thank you so much for joining us. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about how we can create a full stack application with the help of Firebase. So we have created right now. I have created applications like Contact Directory with Firebase, where we can log in with Google. And this is a dashboard where we can add the numbers like tech ferment, and then let's suppose number is 1 2 3 up to something, and then we can save the number. Yeah, and we can also remove the numbers like you can do that. And this is highly secure, like only authenticated user can see the data, and we can log out. And this is the kind of application we will build in this entire video. So we will use for the development, we will use VS Code Editor for as a IDE, and we will use Firebase. Or if I talk about specifically in Firebase, we will use Firebase authentications and Cloud Firestore for storing the data. And also we will use Bootstrap for the making mobile responsive UI. So let's start it. So first we will go to the Firebase console. So this is my Firebase console, and then you can click on the project. So I will type the project ID, let's suppose contact directory hyphen tr or something, and then click on continue, and you can skip the Google Analytics part and then click on create project. Meanwhile, you can go to the IDE, and if you haven't installed Firebase SDK, you just need to install first Node module like Node.js, and then after Node.js you need to install npm install -g Firebase tools. So this is a Firebase CLI where you can install the Firebase CLI, and you can use that CLI for the hosting purpose. Yeah, and then you need to log in with your Google account. So first I'll type Firebase login. After installing the Firebase CLI, you just need to type in the terminal Firebase login, and it will go redirect to the web page, and then you need to authenticate the CLI, and that's it. So my project is ready. So this is my project dashboard, and if I go to the Firebase like IDE, so now what we have to do, we have to initialize the Firebase project. So we will type Firebase init for initializing the Firebase project. And then you can click press yes for the proceed. And right now we will use Firebase hosting as of now in the local machine. And then you can select the project. So I have created already a project named Contact Directory TF. So I'll select use existing project, and then we will select the contact directory of TF, and then it will ask you the directory name. So my directory name is public, where we will add our CSS, HTML, and JavaScript code. And then it will ask to for the redirect. So I'll not use any single page kind of application, so press no. And for simple for the GitHub CI/CD related kind of things. And yeah, so this is a basic Firebase hosting related configurable file. So we have a folder public directory. Inside we have by default file like 404.html, and also we have a file index.html. So this is a by default file, and you can use like Firebase src file. So this file is for the linking the project. So right now my project ID is contact hyphen dirtf, and this is git ignore, and this is a firebase.json file. You can mention some configurations related to Firebase in this file. Now you can serve this project entire Firebase project with the command firebase serve. So it will serve, like it will run like as a project, like server in your local machine. It will serve the file, and you will get the URL like localhost colon 5005. So you can open it, and yeah, so this is a by default project right now. So what I can do, I can remove the index.html file. And what we can do, let's suppose I will create a new index.html file. And yeah, so here we can add contact directory and just reload, and yeah, it's working. Okay, so now what we will do, so we will deploy this entire web page into Firebase. So just you need to type Firebase deploy as a command for deployment. If you have a confusion related to Firebase hosting, you can see the video mentioned in the description. So after deployment, you will get the URL like this URL. You can open this URL in your browser. So this is a file like index.html. Right now we are running in local machine, and this is hosted URL. So now what we will do, for the contact entire application, full stack applications, we will use Bootstrap. So first we will visit the link get Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is a mobile responsive UI library, or like framework we can use for making mobile responsive uh, website or web pages. So right now in Bootstrap we will use the Bootstrap CSS property. So I'll just copy the CSS part, and I will paste it here. Okay, so I have added the Bootstrap CSS, and I can reload this page. Yeah, it's my Bootstrap is working because the font size, font properties change. And then I'll go to the Firebase project, and then we will click on the web. Basically here we have to create a register of web applications. So we can register web applications like contact directory -tf. You can add anything. And right now we're also using Firebase hosting. It's okay if you can untick. Yeah, so this is the like main configurable file you for the Firebase. So you can copy and this code, and you can paste it here before closing the body tag, and just format the document. And you can remove unnecessary comments, like these are the configuration file, and this is all it. Okay, so so I'm ready to work with the logic. So as I told you, like we will use Firebase authentications and Cloud Firestore as a service for entire this applications. So first we need to load the SDK file for authentications and Cloud Firestore. So what we will do, we will go to the documentation, and then click on get started for the web. And there is options like available libraries in the right sidebar, like this one. And there is a plus symbols, like you can click on available Firebase JavaScript SDK library from the CDN. So we will use authentications. So I will copy the auth part. uh, okay, so this is the auth part. Okay, so now like in Bootstrap we need to create a container. So we can create a container, like we can add a div element, we can add a class, container class for defining a container. And then we have a row, so we can create a row, and then we can create a column of MD4, and we can add some offset. It's a kind of Bootstrap grid system. And we can add some margin, like margin top, margin from top is up to 5 property. And what you can do, you will cut this logic, you can paste it here, or you can create a column of 6, and for the center purpose you can add 3, and you can also add some paragraph element like lorem you can add anything. Okay, so you once you reload this page, the page is look like this one. So this is a home page. There will be a button for login with Google. So we will create another button, like we can create a button like for Bootstrap we have a class for the button. So we can go to the documentation in the Bootstrap, and then we have a component for the button. So these all are the components. So you can use this button component. I will change the name like login with Google, and you can add some on click method. When I click on this button, we need to call a functions like login functions, and that's it. So I will create a functions. So after Firebase initializations, so what we will do, we will create a functions named login. Okay, yeah. So now we need to perform authentications for with Google. So we'll go to the Firebase dashboard, project dashboard again, and then we have authentication. So we will click on the authentication part, and then click on get started button. Okay, so there is a n number of methods we can use for the authenticating the users. Like you can use email password authentication, phone number authentications, or you can add the user with the Google account, or like Facebook, Twitter. You can use any method. So right now in the video, like we will use Google account. So I just need to enable the authentications for the Google account, and you can select the support email ID. Like if there is any issues, you can like mention your email ID. Yeah, so now I have enabled the Google authentications. So Google Auth is enabled. So next part we will you need to use auth provider in JavaScript. So I have mentioned the tutorials. You can go to the repository github.com/ridgeraj, and then I have created a code bash for the Firebase you can use. Just go to the Firebase for web, and then we have Firebase auth with Google sign in. So this is a process we can use, or if you haven't watched the video for the authentication, you can go to the YouTube channel and watch it. So first we need to define a provider. So we have defined a provider for the Google authentications, and then we need to call a functions for the login. So this is a function. So this is the entire functionality we can use for the authentications. I will explain. So I will format this logic. So right now we are using Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentications, and there is a method sign in with popup. And for the popup, we just provide authentications service provider like Google. So there will be a pop-up for the Google Auth provider. And then if the user is successfully logged in, you will get the user details. So you can print it here like console.log user, and you can remove these comments for the coding purpose. And yeah, and if the user is if there is any issues, you can handle in catch block, and you can print the error yeah, these all are the errors. So this is a simple logic for the authentication with Google with the sign in with popup. And just need to reload this page again, and then click on login button. There is a pop-up, and then we have login with Google, and then we need to authenticate our Gmail account. Yeah, so user is successfully logged in, and we print the data in our console. We'll go to the inspect element, and there is a console. Yeah, so this is the details we are getting after the authentications. So after authentication, it will return JavaScript object where we have lots of properties like you can get the photo URL, you can collect the name of the user account like tech ferment is a display name, you can collect the email ID, and also you can see a lot of properties in this object. So what I want to do, like after successfully authenticating the user, I need to redirect to the another page like this dashboard.html. So we will create another page, dashboard, or maybe you can change to the home.html. And what right now I will do, I will copy the entire logic and I will paste it here. And in this home.html, we don't need a login type of button. And similarly, we don't need a login button element. And what we will do, we will create a column of 12 and we can add like home or as a admin or dashboard. Save. And then if the user is successfully logged in, like in the index.html, after logged in, we need to redirect to the home page. So we will use windows.location as a property in JavaScript, and then we need to pass home.html, and that's it. So I will reload this page. I already logged in with Google. Just a minute, home.html. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, first we need to click on the login button, and after login successfully, we'll move to the home.html. But when I move to the like home page like index.html file, so every time I need to authenticate the user, but I already authenticate the user. So there is a functionality you can use like on state change method. So if you go to the Firebase authentications email and password, and there is a methods you can call like on state change method in JavaScript. Okay, so in Firebase, we have a method for the authentication on state change. It will check whether the state of the users, like whether the user is logged in or not. If the user is logged in, what we need to do, we need to uh, shift the user to the windows.h like windows.location to home.html page. Otherwise, in index.html, there no need to do anything. And similarly, we will do here. We will check before going to the home page, like if the user is successfully authenticated. Only authenticated users can see the home page, and otherwise if the user is not authenticated, we will change the URL to the index.html so that user can log in and then they can check the user details. So here I can print the user, and that's it. Simple logic. Okay, so I will reload this page again, and within a few seconds and you will redirect to the uh, that home page, just because of Firebase on state method, on state change method. So like firebase.auth, and then we have a method on state change. It will check the state of the user, whether the user is logged in or not. So if the user is logged in index.html, we will change the URL to the home page, and otherwise we do nothing. And same for the home page, like we will check again state of the user, like if user is successfully logged in or not. If the user is successfully logged in, we will see some details here. Okay, so this is a simple logic for the authentications. So now what we will do, we will print some data of users like user ID or something. So you can create a div element. So let's say I'll create a div element of, I will pass the ID like user details. And after user is logged in successfully, we can print the data like add that data into the HTML part. So with the help of add document.getElement by ID, we can pass the ID here. This is ID, and then we have a property like inner HTML you can use, and you can add the data. So what we can do, so now we need to use multi-line string. With that symbol you can create a multi-line string, and then you can add a paragraph like a paragraph element, and then you can pass like your logged in with the username. So we can print the variable in multi-line string, so user dot, and then we have a JavaScript object. So inside JavaScript object there is a property display name, so we will copy the display name. So that's it. And also we can, in the small bracket, we can print the email ID. So user dot email, because we have a JavaScript property in the object, and we'll save and then reload this page. Yeah, so yeah, user is successfully logged in with this account, and we can also print the image. So we can add an image here. So img tag src for the image attribute, and here we will pass the URL like user dot, and then we have a field like property for the image photo URL. So we will copy the photo URL here and save. Yeah, so user is logged in successfully with this account. So we can add a style property. So style, we can add some width is equal to maybe 20 pixels. Yeah, it's look like it's better. And now we will implement the functionality for the logout. So what we will do, we will add anchor tag. Maybe you can add anchor tag here, like logout with the username. So logout with the username like this, and here you can click on click functionality where you can pass a method. So we will use this method. So this is a button, but right now I'm not using ahref tag, so we can add some style like color is equal to blue. So color is blue, or you can cut this logic and you will paste it here so that it will be in a line. Yeah, it's working properly, but the cursor is not showing. So you can add a style cursor pointer. This is a CSS property. There will be a pointer cursor. Yeah, so you can log out. So we will create a method for the logout. So on click we will add a logout method. So after this we will create a functions logout, and for the logout functionality again you can go to the code books, and then we have sign out user method, and you just need to use this methods. That's it. Okay, so for the sign out, like we are using Firebase, and inside authentications there is a method sign out. So you can call sign out as a method, and it is a JavaScript promises we can handle with then and catch block. And if the user is successfully signed out or logged out, what we want to do, we want to redirect to the user to the home page. So we will write windows.location to the index.html file. And if there is any issue and logout, so yeah, we can print that error in the console. So I will reload this page and I'll go to the logout and user is successfully logged out. So one of the best thing about on-state change methods is when I go to the home.html, I directly redirect to the contact dot like index.html files because I'm not authorized to access that page because of on-state change method. So I need to authenticate the user. So first I need to authenticate with my Google account, and then I am an authorized person. Now I can see the home.html. So this is the simplest functionality what we did done with the Firebase authentications. So right now we will add a functionality for the Cloud Firestore. So we will create a forms like we can have a field like name and contact number, and there is a button like add data, and we will add this data into Cloud Firestore. So first in the home.html, so we will create a div element where we can add a class like container. We can add a container float. We can do that in the nesting in the grid system, and then we can add a row class, and then we can add a column of maybe four column. We can add some input box. So we'll go to the bootstrap, and then we have a form element, and then go to the form controller. So these all are the basic of property in the bootstrap. So you can use, right now I'm using input box property. So this is the input box. And so first I'm collecting the name. So we'll write type is equal to text. Form controller is a predefined class in bootstrap. We can change the ID to the name, and we can add placeholder like full name. And similarly we can create another column for the mobile number. So it will be a number, so type is equal to number, and then we can change the ID to the number, and that's it. And we can change the placeholder like mobile, and the last column we can add create a button. So again we can add a button like in bootstrap we have a class like btn, and then btn primary for the blue color, and then we'll use save data or save number. Okay, so we can call a method. When I click on this button, we need to save the data, so add data we can call as a method, and that's it. So when I reload this page, yeah, it's working properly. So we can add some margin or padding. So this is a container fluid class. So we have a property in bootstrap like class like px means padding from left and right is equal to 0, so that it will be aligned to the UI. So yeah, it's working properly. So we can add some content and then mobile number, then we need to call the method. But right now I haven't created a method for add data. So we will create a method add data. So after logout, we can create a method or a functions like add data. So we can collect the data with the like document.get element by ID. So first the name. So we will write document.get element by ID. Here we will pass the ID. So my ID is name, and then we need to collect a value. So we will write value, and same for the number. So this is a number, and again when I get the data from the DOM element, it will be a string, but I want it is as a number, so we need to convert that number in with the help of parseInt as a method. Okay, So we can print the data like console.log. We can print number, name, and similarly console.log we can print name or number, and then reload this page. So I'll click text format, the number, and yeah, so it's not a null. Yeah, so this is the number. So when I click again text format, I will pass some number. Yeah, so this is the number. Now we need to add a functionality to add a data into Cloud Firestore. So we will go to the Cloud Firestore, and then click on create database, and then right now we are using like you can go for the production mode because we have already authenticate the user. So like no one can read or write or delete the data without authentications. So click on the next, and then you can select the locations. So the reason. So right now I'm using by default locations, and then click on create, enable. So till that time you can go to the documentation. So I have mentioned the code for the Cloud Firestore. So first we need to load the Firebase Firestore seed library. So this is the Firestore library. And for adding a data, so we need to define a collection. So Firestore is a NoSQL database, just like as a MongoDB. So we have a collections can have a multiple documents, and each document can have a multiple fields in terms of JavaScript object. So we have a Firebase, and then we have a Firestore we are using, and then we need to define a collections. So we can change to the collections name, and inside collections we need to pass a document. So for adding a data, we have to use add data method. So my project like dash data this is ready. So first we need to use load the Firebase Firestore library. So we'll go to the documentation once again and go to the getting started for the web, and then available libraries, and then copy the SDK for the Cloud Firestore, copy, and then you can paste it here, and that's it. So for adding a data into Cloud Firestore, so we can do that. Like first we are using Firebase, and then we have Firestore, and then we need to define a collection. So my collections name, it could be maybe data, so we will use data as a collections, and then we need to use add method. Inside add method we need to pass a JavaScript object. So what we can do, we can create a JavaScript object like let data is equal to JavaScript object we can create with the help of curly braces, and the key value property like name is equal to name. So like my key is a name and the value is name, so name is this one. And similarly for the number, so we'll use number to number, and that's it. You can do that easily. So this is a JavaScript object. We will pass this JavaScript object in the add method, and this is a JavaScript promise, so we can handle with the then and catch block. So it will return a callback as a document, and this is the arrow functions, so we can print a document or document ID with the help of doc.id, means the document ID in the Cloud Firestore. And we can handle the error with the help of catch block. So if there is any error, we can print like console.log and then e, and that's it. So if the data is stored in Cloud Firestore successfully, we can have a alert like data added success maybe. And similarly, Yeah, so till that time I will go to the page. Yeah, so I will reload the page. So I will add the property and field and then click on save data button. Yeah, so insufficient permissions like the database rules we have to work on. So right now is database rules is no one can read and write the data. So right now we will allow the users, like anyone can read, anyone can write the data. So database rules is ready, and we will reload the page again, and then we will pass the data and then click on save button. Yeah, data is added, and this is a document ID. When I go to the database and the data sections, we have a collections of data, and inside we have a document which has a random ID, and inside we have fields like name and number. So yeah, so my data is added, but these data we need to blank after the like data is successfully stored. So what we can do, we can copy the thing and we will paste it here, and we will blank the data like in the text sections, area section. So here will be number. So I will reload the page again. So first we have a data tag format. Let's suppose I want to add my name, Brijraj Singh, and the number something something, and then click on save button. Yeah, data is added. So there is another document with the field Brijraj and the number. So you can do that easily, like tag format 2 and then number, save, and then data is added. So we have another document. So this is all about Cloud Firestore for adding a data. So now I want to read the data. For reading a data, this is very easy. So if you go to the code labs, like source code, so we have a functionality to read the data with the help of get method or read all the documents. So like this is a common thing like Firebase, Firestore, and then collections, and then we need to use get method. So again, for reading a data, we will create a functions. So we will create a functions like show data. So here we will perform a read operation. So for reading a data, first we are using Firebase and then we are using Firestore inside, and then we need to define a collection. So my collections name is from which collections I need to read. So my collections name is data, and then for reading a data in Cloud Firestore, we have to use a get method. So get method is also a JavaScript promise. So it will return a callback. So which is return a list of the document. Okay, which has all the documents. So what I want to do. So these all are the list of document. We can perform for each loop. So this will return one by one the document. So we can print the document like console.log, and we can print the document. So what let's suppose I want to print the document ID. So what we can use doc.id. If I want to print data of the document, the fields, so we just need to use dot data as a method, and that's it. So we will reload the page again. Yeah, we haven't called the functions, so we will call these functions before closing the script tag. Yeah, so function is called. So yeah, there is a data like this is a document ID, and this is the data like number, and these all the data. Okay, so I wanted to print the entire logic, like this is a JavaScript code or the data into the UI part. So this is very easy again. So we will create a table. Inside table we can add a data. So yeah, so this is a container. We have a rows, so we can create another row for for the data printing. So we will add a class row, and then we have a column of MD12 maybe. Yes, you can. And then we can add some margin, and here you can create a table. So you can add a table. So we are using Bootstrap. We have a class predefined table, and inside we have a table head. So here you can create a table or row. Inside, let's suppose we have a column of name, like the contact number name. So it's not a TR. We will change to the TD. And similarly for the TD, for the number. And last you can use as a delete the data. So we will use as a actions. Okay. And then like this is a table head. Similarly, we will be having a table body. So we will use table body. Here we can pass a ID as a result, because our table rows will be a dynamic. It will be coming from the database side. So we will use this ID. So yeah, in the show data sections, what we can do, we will write document dot get element by ID. Here we will pass the ID as a result, and then we use inner HTML equal to. We can add multi-line string. We can use multi-line string as I told you, like we have used with this symbol. So we can use this symbol. So this one is for the creating a multi-line string. So again, we need to create a row for every time, for every record. So, and then we can add a column. So we have right now we have 3 columns. So we will add a column. Okay. So we have 3 columns, and this is a JavaScript object. Yeah. So this is a JavaScript object, like this is a JavaScript object, and then we have a property like name and mobile number. So we can print, so first property like define, we want to print a name. So for printing a JavaScript variable in the multi-line string, we use dollar symbol curly braces and the variable. And this is a JavaScript object. And then what I want to do, I wanted to print the name. And similarly for the number, we will copy and we will paste and replace to the number. For the delete operations, what I want to do, I want to create a HTML element for the button. So we will create a button, or you can go to the Bootstrap library, like components, and then we have a buttons for the danger, like red button for the delete. So you can copy the button and paste it here. For you will change the text delete. So when I click on, yeah, so I'll just reload, save, and then reload this page. Yeah, so this is the data, but right now we have 3 documents and I'm getting only 1 document. This is why, because it will overwrite the entire DOM element. So what I want to do, I want to append the data. So we will use plus symbol, and again we will use DOM element before calling the like this reading data. So what I want to do, it will be the blank string, like the DOM element will be whatever in the DOM element in inner HTML, it will be blank, and after we will create a rows. So we will reload this page. So right now, yeah, we have a 3 data. So we can call this method again after data is successfully added. So here we can also call this method. So I will add another field like bridge Raj only, and then we can add a data and then click on save button. So data is added. So yeah, bridge Raj is there. So we can uncomment. These all are, we are using console.log. So we can comment, remove the comment, and similarly we can also remove the comment here, and just reload this page. It's working properly. Yeah. Again, yeah, so you can remove, yes, this console.log. So it's working properly. So we need to implement the functionality for the logout, sorry, delete button. So in the delete, so we can add functions like we can use on click method. Here we can pass delete data. Here we need to pass a document ID because so we have a document ID. We can get the document ID with doc.id. So again, this is a this ID could be considered as a string. So that's why we have write single quotes, and then in the JavaScript we can print a variable doc.id. Okay, so we will use this method. So we will create a math functions. So we will write delete data. It will take as a ID as a parameter. So we can print the ID like user ID, and that's it. Save. So when I click on this button, this is a document ID. This is a document ID for this. This is a document ID for this one. So now we need to perform the delete operations. So for deleting a data, so this is a simple logic. So we have a document ID. So we have a Firebase inside. We have a file store, and then we need to define a collections on which document you want to remove the fields or a document you which document you want to remove. So here you need to pass document ID. So this is a document ID. We can pass it, and then we need to perform delete operations, and this is the simple logic. So first we will check, we can add some confirm box like are you sure for deleting a data. So we can add some string like are you sure. Yes, if I'm sure, it will return a true, and then inside true sections we can perform remove operations. So again we are using Firebase, so we'll use Firebase, and inside we are using Firestore, so Firestore method, and then we have to define a collections. So we can define a collections like data. We have a collections, and then which document you wanted to remove. So here you need to pass the document ID. And for removing a document, you need to use delete as a method, which is defined in Firebase. So again, this is a JavaScript promise. So it will return a callback. So with ES6, we can print a callback like you can add alert methods like removed success or data removed success. And again, after removing the data, we can call sort data method again for getting updated data or printing the data, and that's it. So again, we will reload the page. So when I click on this button, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Let's suppose I want to remove tag ferment 2. So yes, so data is removed successfully. It will reload. Yeah, so this is working properly. So this is a entire full stack applications we have built with the help of Firebase. We have used Firebase authentications. We have used Cloud Firestore. You can use anything like in Firebase we have a real-time database, storage, functions, machine learning. You can use it. I have created a video. You just need to watch that video for adding a functionality. So again, this is a thing. We can also host this application with the help of Firebase deploy. So you just need to use Firebase deploy command. Okay, again, this is a like a hosted URL. You can copy the URL and you can paste it here. Uh, yeah, not copied. Yes, you can open it here. So you have to reload this page again. Yeah. So it's working properly. So we have to authenticate the user. So after user is authenticated, so these all are the data. So similarly in the JavaScript, we can perform the edit operations. You can go to the like this document, and we have a method like update methods. So like first we need to which document you want to update. So you will need to pass the document ID, and then we need to call update method. Inside we can pass updated JavaScript object, and that's it. So we can easily update the document. So you can do that easily. So now I need to secure these applications right now as per the database rules. Like if I go to the database rules, yeah, so anyone can read and write the data. So we can change the data like logic. So this is the you can update the database rules, like if the request dot auth dot uid is equal to the user ID, because after Firebase authentications you will get the user ID like after authenticating your project. So you can authenticate the users, like if the user is this one, only he and like this user ID can write and read the data or delete. Same, you want to delete the operations, you can update the data. So we have a CRUD type of operations, you can do that, like allow read operations, write operation, delete operation, and update operations. If user dot auth dot user ID means this user ID, uh, this if equal to this user ID, only he can or he she can update the data and delete the data and read the data and all. So this is a secure applications. So no one can read the data, no one can delete, and no one can update the data. Uh, uh, Only you have access with this email ID. If you have an email ID of this access, you can easily update or remove and edit the data. And this is all about Firebase hosting, Firebase authentications, and Cloud Firestore. So thank you so much for watching this entire video for creating a full stack applications. So if you have any questions, you can post your questions in the comment sections and the chat sections. I will happy to answer them, and you can connect with us on TechForm and social media, which is mentioned in the video description. I have mentioned the resources. You can go to the list of resources. You can like mention these link for the documents and the bootstrap and all. So thank you again, and see you in the next video. Thank you.